Yes, guys, I hope you're good. Today we're going to preview the Chelsea versus Luton Town match, and then to introduce you, I'm with I'm with Tiro. So Tiro, big up, how are you?
Good on yourself, brother.
Good, thanks. Did you be able to watch the game because you told me that your today is overloaded? Your day.
Yeah, I still haven't managed to watch the game. I'm just waiting for the full match highlights to come out so that I can watch them from start to finish instead of having to watch them in pieces. But I did manage to watch about 10 minutes of the game between 55 and 65 minutes, I guess. And I was able to see Cole Palmer's second goal, so that was great. But but no, I haven't really watched the game in totality. But from what I could see on the scoreline, we probably dropped the ball around the 80th minute. From the 80th minute until the end of the game, we dropped the ball because we conceded two goals between one at 80th on the 80th minute and the other on the 87th minute. And before I even left the game, I think it was around the 74th minute where we conceded an offside goal. Yeah, clearly we can score goals. Clearly we can create chances. Clearly, if we feel like we um we're going to be clinical today, then we might just come out with three goals, maybe more. But that's never really enough because our defense is not as good as it should be. First things first, and I think I said this in the last stream, that what needs to happen is that we need to stop losing games. We need to stop conceding goals. But what's been happening lately, even now in the game that played this afternoon, it was still. I mean, we considered two goals when we were leading 3-0. So it's a bit nonsensical that this continues to happen. But I'm happy for the win though. I mean, it's 3 points. So I'm happy for the win. I'm happy for the fact that we got the 3 points. Cole Palmer's got two goals and an assist. Who is this? Nani got a goal. It's a good day overall, but it could have been better. We could have ended the game with a clean sheet, but we knew this was not going to be an easy game. Even Poch himself even mentioned in one of his press conference measures in one of his press conference um, interviews that pre-match interview that you know that that stadium is not an easy place to be in. I mean, you look at the teams that have actually gone there and struggled so far this season. It we I did not expect for us to have an easy game, given the fact that we're just not playing so well right now defensively, especially because we just make so many defensive mistakes. It's insane, and all those mistakes are genuine goals, um, um, mistakes that lead to a goal opportunity for the opposition. So happy for the win overall. Can't complain about that. I mean, I just saw that United just lost. That makes me a little bit happy. But I don't want to speak about United here. It's just the fact that we still continue to concede goals, even though we are in the prime position to kind of win the game as cleanly as possible. We still didn't manage to do that, and we considered three goals in total today. I mean, one was an offside goal for sure, but we managed to concede three goals today. It actually went behind our net. It can't happen. So if that goal actually counted, it would have been a draw. It's For me, it's still not good enough. We just need to make sure that we defend as well as we offend. But yeah, I still haven't watched the game, so I'll have a much better analysis of the game once I watch it. But for now, having seen the 10 minutes of the game and as well as the actual stats of the game as to how it went, I'm still a bit iffy. But I am glad for the win though, that's for sure.
100%. Big up to Chelsea perspective. Hope you're good, my brother. So, yeah, man, I agree with you. Yeah, you need to watch that game because in the last minute, oh man, almost got an heart attack because we were all over the place. We're giving Luton so much space to create chances and score those goals. So we should work a lot on our defense, but at the same time, as I said, I'll take 3 points. 3 points is what is important at the moment because we need goals. We need 3 points to go up on the table. Unfortunately, now we won the game. We still 10. So that's the issue. We should have been at least eighth, ninth, or seventh. So overall, coming next year, I think we should win. We should build on this game and then win against Fulham and the other games. So, man, this team is stressing me. It's stressing me. Let me just look on the chat.
Since you saw the game, what do you think of it? What do you think about the game?
To be honest, I was enjoying the game until their first goal because after conceding that goal, I saw us conceding again or even more than 4 goals because they were all over us. I've been watching their games against Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, Newcastle. They've been playing good at home, even though sometimes they don't keep clean sheet. So I saw this coming, and I didn't want this uh, to happen to us, and then it happened. So overall, I'm happy with the 3 points, but defensively, we should do better. So you on the chat we have blue bot analysis. Bigger bro, I hope you're good. Okay, let me read this one. Hey man, there's a bit of fixing work happening in my house right now. Otherwise, I would be. Don't worry, coach. It's fine, man. I understand. As long as we're on the chat. But
Yeah, big ups to you, Chelsea Perspective, as well as Blue Board Analysis. We appreciate you guys watching the stream right now. But yeah, it's I I'm glad I didn't watch the game. I'm so glad I didn't watch the game because I had a great afternoon and an even better evening. But I'm sure now that I'm going to watch the game and it's not going to be live, I won't have the kind of heart attack that I would have had when the game was live. But I can imagine what you're talking about because it's been happening all season. That's just what's been happening with us all season. It's This is not just about Luton being good at home. We know we're like this. We know we play like this. We know this is what's been happening for since the season started. Really, I mean, how many clean sheets have we kept? We could have kept the, we could have kept a lot more clean sheets this season so far, but we haven't done that so far. And at the moment, the one thing that's the biggest problem for me is just that it's the defense. That's basically all there is. And like I said to you the other day, during the stream when you guys were talking about the fact that we need a striker, and my thing is that really don't need a striker. Honestly, we don't need one. We don't have a striker problem. We have a team problem. That's all it is that we have. And the fact that we keep, I mean, if we could get 3 goals today, and none of those goals came from our striker, means we don't need one. We really don't need one. So we really don't need a striker. We can have um any of our forwards to play the center forward position because we create so many chances. All that we have to do is take them. That's all there is. It's not just Nicholas Jackson that's missing the goals. It's everybody. It's everybody across the whole board. Everybody's missing. And on top of that, nobody's defending as well as they should. Nobody's doing it for each other. They're just playing around the field, not really knowing what it is that they're doing. But at the moment, The fact that we got a win today and we managed to score 3 goals, if we couldn't go score at least 3 goals, we would have lost this game easily. And every single game of ours is never nerve wracking. I mean, I see Chelsea perspective did mention that the game was nerve wracking, and I believe it because all the games have been nerve wracking, all of them. It's the 2-1 win previously before this one. It was also nerve wracking. I didn't see us winning that game at all because I knew that we were going to concede at some point or another. We have, I think, with regards to going into the second half, having not conceded or not losing the game, we probably sit on second or third in the league just because of how good our first 45 minutes usually are in games. But the second 45 minutes, it's just, I don't know what it is. Is it something that Pochettino tells them? It's like, no, go around and just walk around the field and do absolutely nothing. Or I just don't know what it is. But every time we play in the second half, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So I don't know what it is, but I really am glad for the win today. I'm glad for the 3 points. We genuinely needed them. And the next round of fixtures that we have, we should at least come up with a lot more points than we got in the previous games. I mean, we have more yellow cards than. Let me not even get to that point. I just don't. I don't know. We need to get more points. I mean, if we're gonna get as many yellow cards as possible, we might as well do that while we win. We can't just pile up as many yellow cards as possible, all the red cards, the injuries, all of the stuff that's currently going on in the club right now, and we still fail to score. We have really good teams, good players in our team. We have insanely good players in our team. It's just because of the inexperience that's among them, particularly at the very top of the of football. It's costing us because there's no consistency. There's no consistency there in our games, and that's what we need. We need to start winning games. But I'm glad that the last 2 games we've actually gone and got 6 points. So I can't really complain much about that. I can only complain about the fact that we cannot keep a clean sheet. We can't defend to save ourselves. We just can't do it. And I don't know why that is, but we just can't do it.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. If, for example, you can take your time and watch our games from the Liverpool game until today's game, you can see clearly we have great potentials, good players, but overall we just need a little bit of experienced players who can start these players, who can hold their hands and say, look, let's go again, let's fight again. So every time we concede a goal, our heads it goes down, showing that we don't have enough experienced players. Yes, Thiago Silva is an experienced player, but he can't do it alone at the moment. And we're Sterling, is on and off. So I don't trust Raheem Sterling that much to help this team because Kelly is doing what Jackson is doing at the moment, missing chances or having a blunder. So overall, I don't trust Raheem Sterling enough to lead this kid to nurture them to do better. So I feel like Thiago Silva is doing everything alone. So he's dying there on the pitch. He needs someone else just to help him. So overall, I think we need at least 2 or 3 experienced players who have done it, who have won it, who knows football better. So overall, I'm happy with the game. But I just give me your thoughts about Cole Palmer from the first time Chelsea won the team until now.
I always liked Cole Palmer, to be honest. Uh, I won't lie to you. I've always liked him. Even the cameos that he had at Manchester City, I thought it was great. I didn't think the price tag was worthy. Uh, I didn't think he was worthy of that, of being bought for over 40 million. But just give me a second.
Yeah, well, let me welcome Tiger. Tiger, how are you?
Big up, big up, mate. Big up, big up. How are you? How are you up the jazz?
I'm good, thanks.
Awesome, man.
Well,
Welcome, brother.
How is everyone? How is everyone? Enjoying the win?
yeah, a win is a win. We enjoy the win. Let's celebrate while we can because we'll never know the next game outcome. So every time Chelsea wins, please make sure you celebrate.
Yeah, surely. I mean, see, the criticisms are at bay, right? We don't win, and we have not won a lot last 2 seasons. So I don't understand people who don't celebrate when we win. It's good. It's good to criticize, and it's good to um, pinpoint the weaknesses and how we can improve even further. But a win is win in football, and this is a game where you know Argentina won on penalties against France. No one remembers really how well Argentina played the whole World Cup or how well France played the whole World Cup. It's about moments. So if you win the moments, you win the game. Like we won against Newcastle, like we won against Brighton, like we won against today, Luton. So a win is important, mate. There are a lot of questions to be asked. There are a lot of issues with Pochettino. There are a lot of issues in the team. We can discuss all that, but yeah, as I said, a win is a win, right? So we should celebrate.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then Chelsea perspective on the chess, just saying that apart from our inability to defend set pieces, our defensive line is also not equivalently protected by our two sixes. Just my opinion. So, what is your thought about that, Sehu?
Sorry, my thoughts about what Chelsea Perspective just said, or the question to the panel: in which areas do we need to make adjustments in the January transfer market? Is that what you're asking?
No, the comment on the comment section that I highlighted. Apart
Oh,
from
apart from our inability to defend set pieces, our defense line is also not adequately protected by the two sixes. Just my opinion. I 100% agree with Chelsea Perspective here. 100%. I don't think the guys are doing enough. I don't think they're protecting the defense well enough. It's okay. I'll give you an example. In the last game that we played, just every time Caicedo got hold of the ball, it was almost like he was ready to lose it, as if he wasn't really sure that he was supposed to be on the ball. It's like there's no. It's almost as if he's not comfortable on the ball. He's not playing as well as he did when he was at Brighton. And and honestly, as just the lone six, because in that game I think Gallagher was playing way more forward than he was in usual games, but he wasn't defending as much as needed. So Moses Caicedo was a lone six basically, and he just wasn't. I don't think he was doing well enough. And then Lavia came on, and you could see that we had a lot more protection at the back. But even that was not good enough. It just wasn't. It I mean the boy just came back from injury, so I would understand why it was a bit leaky at the back there because he was there. But I can't exactly put the blame on the two sixes that we currently have in the team because we lose the game a lot due to individual errors. We don't lose the game because of what the midfielder would have gone and done, but it's just the inability to hold the ball properly when you're at the back, as a center back or as a left back. We make a lot of defensive mistakes that lead to it that eventually lead to a goal, and that is always demoralizing because it's the same story each and every game. It's almost the same thing that continues to happen over and over and over, and it gets to a point where we as fans actually go and expect it, that the expectation from us to the team is so low, particularly defensively, that there isn't that much trust in from the fans to the team to say that we actually believe that you can go on and win the game with a clean sheet. We know for a fact you're not going to get a clean sheet. The least we can do is score more goals than we're conceding, and that's not the way of a champion. That's not the way the champions would, or a team that is aspiring to be champions to play. We don't expect things like that. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's nearly good enough. And I hear what you're saying, where you say that Caicedo has performed well. But I also agree with you where you say that he appears clumsy and struggles to beat the press and or press strategically. It's almost as though he's not exactly aware of his environment or his space or just how much space he's under or just how much time he has on the ball. He holds onto the ball for far too long and he does not release it early. At least that's what I've gone and seen. And when he does get pressurized by someone, it's very easy for him to lose the ball. And to play in that position, that's a very pivotal role. That if you cannot take control of the ball as well as we expect you to, then whoever is pressing on you will know for a fact that you're more likely to lose the ball than you are to keep it. And so they keep pressing and pressing and pressing, and more often than not, he loses the ball quite often. But he also does make some really good recoveries as well, and he does that a lot. So it's a catch-22 where he does this and he does that as well. What I would like is for him to play like the 110 million player that he is. Just hold the ball, release it properly, make smart passes, make sure that whatever you do is progressive, or you hold the ball well. You just hold the ball, you hold the line, you control the ball as well as you can. But I really cannot blame the two sixes only. The defense has been absolute. I don't know, it's been disastrous. We always believe that a player like Benya Badiashile, when he comes back from injury, he would be our saving grace. He comes back, he makes the exact same mistakes that the defenders that we had before him came that he found in the team, and the same as Wesley Fofana. We're calling him the kind of defender that we can go and say, look, he's also that saving grace. He's the greatest defender in the team right now. He's the best one, but do we really know that? Because when he does come back and he's fully fit, how fit will he actually be? And even if he does remain fit. Do we know that he's not going to make the same mistakes that Benoit Badiashile has been making? We don't really know that. But the defense has been absolutely poor, man, especially from set pieces. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how easily we concede goals, and it's tough to keep supporting such things. It really doesn't make any sense to me that we can be so good everywhere else, but not defensively. Especially well on the final third with the last touches of the ball. Whenever we need to shoot or we need to make an accurate pass, we do come up short sometimes. But we do manage to score goals at least. We manage to create chances at least. But defensively, I have absolutely no faith, none whatsoever. Even if Reece James comes back and is fully fit forever, I don't know if that's still good enough. Our defense needs a complete improvement. I don't know if it's worthy of a rehaul. I don't know if it's worthy of getting more defenders in, but we just need to get these guys to defend as well as they possibly could. That's all there is. We need to stop losing games, stop conceding goals. After that, perhaps everything else will come naturally.
Tiger, do you want to add something on what he said?
Yeah. A lot of things actually. I'll start on midfield, right? It's well, let's see. I've been blatant about Poch, that he does not know how to, organize the current set of midfielders we have, right, mate? He plays players out of position. The bigger problem that happens in midfield is he even plays midfielders who should not be played at specific you know, defensive midfielders as central midfielders as a higher 10, as a lower 6. He plays those midfielders according to his own whims and fancies. So, I mean, then that results in what the other respected panel member was saying. That results in utter chaos in that whole midfield. The midfielders don't really support the wing backs or the full backs, or any of that defensive line. They just go on and and jump their whole gun forward, and that really doesn't help any of us, right? And the point of Caicedo not holding the ball or something, in my honest and humble opinion, Caicedo has never came across to me as a proper sitter of a defensive midfielder. He's more like a defensive midfielder, yes, but a defensive midfielder who goes forward as well, who gets those long balls going as well. He's not someone who will always sit back and defend the line. Poch has tried to do that sometimes and it has not worked. And the biggest thing that I don't like with Poch being an Enzo fan and with being a Mudrik fan and having bias for these two players, everyone has their own, players which they're biased to. Um, he has never been able to utilize Enzo up till now.
Tiger,
Yeah, yeah,
are you using headsets?
yeah. I am. Am I not audible?
Yeah, not clear. Seems like there's a background noise around you and stuff.
Okay, okay. Let me check. Let me check.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool. Thank you. And then I hope you're good. So let me just ask this question quickly, and then
Is
we
it
will
good
come
now?
back.
Is it good now?
Yeah, it's much better. Can you talk again?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, is it good?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. No, so I was just saying that Poch is not able to use the midfield as well it should be used, and that's a
No,
big problem.
we are still having the same feedback.
It's still not audible.
No, you
Yeah.
are audible. I think what the issue is that maybe your mic is a little bit too close to where your mouth is where you speak. So there's
Okay, okay.
kind
Yeah,
of a
maybe now it's
disturbance
good.
whenever you speak.
Okay, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
that's much better.
maybe,
That's much better.
maybe that's the reason. Actually,
Yeah.
it's 2 hours past midnight here in India, so I am actually speaking in my lowest voice, so not to wake my surroundings up. But it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all
Okay,
right.
but that
I'll
is much
try.
better though. It is much better
Yeah, yeah,
though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I understood. I understood the effect. So that's the problem, and how he will go to solve that problem of using Enzo and Caicedo and Lavia better. Guys, I seriously don't know because I don't trust Poch to be a good tactician, and he's proving me right when he's not being able to use, those defensive midfielders and central midfielders in the right combinations. I give this example of this Everton match, which just clearly shows the tactical blunder Poch did. He played Enzo as a higher 10, right? And he played Gallagher as a defensive midfielder. What happens when you play Enzo as a higher 10 is Enzo cannot run. Enzo has not that much pace. He's a register kind of a central midfielder, not a number 10, higher number 10 kind of player who has a lot of pace. He swapped the roles of Gallagher and Enzo was absolutely bad in that game. So I personally think that needs to be solved. Midfield is a big problem because midfield is your engine room. If you cannot cannot solve the problems of your midfield like we are facing right now, you cannot score goals. You cannot defend well because you will be beaten in transitions all year around by smaller teams than you, by any teams. I mean, because midfield in football is a very important sector, right? What I think about defense, as the honorable panel member was saying, is We necessarily not need a lot of defenders, maybe, uh, but we surely need experience in that defensive line because, see, take any other example, take any example, Man City, Liverpool, give me names, Burnley, who else, Brighton, maybe. Every team has a defensive line which is over the age of, which has an average age of over 24, 25, 26, 27. What are our defenders? Colwell, what age? Can you tell me, band members? What age is Colwell? 20, 21, right?
I think it's 21, if not 22.
21. What is
Yeah,
Badiashile? 20, 21?
yeah, same.
Yeah. What is the Sasi? 25. The only one,
Yeah,
right?
it's 24, 25, I think, if I'm
Right.
not mistaken.
What is Wesley Fofana if he returns from injury?
23, 24.
23. No one except Excel Disasi is above 25. Thiago Silva was the only one, and unfortunately, as much as I want him to stay, but he's aging, he's not the same Thiago Silva, so I guess he needs to go. And then we are lacking seriously in the experience in defensive line, and we need someone. And I was delighted, first time ever in a lot of transfer windows since these owners have arrived and these sporting directors have been assigned, that we were linked to Jonathan Tah of Bayer Leverkusen, who has some sort of experience, because we are always linked with some kind of youngsters who is upcoming Neymar, upcoming Messi, upcoming this and upcoming that. We are never linked with a person who can come in the team, slot in, settle down, and can win us games. So let's see what happens in the winter window. I guess we are linked with Ousmane Diamande, we are linked with Jonathan Tah, and we are linked with Pau Cubarsi from Barcelona. Let's see who we sign. I personally would prefer Jonathan Tah because we need defensive line experience. And here's my take on one thing, that you know what happens when likes of Nicholas Jackson don't score chances that we create. Your defensive line will be put into pressure someday because this is football, right? The other team is also here to create chances to score goals. They would not sit back all the time. They'll have some passages of play where they will be controlling possession, where they will be counter attacking, where they will have clear cut chances to score. So if you have your chances, if and you don't bury them, the other team would, and that will hamper and stress your defense life out of order. So we also need to bury our chances as an attacking team, and let's see what happens. I mean, as the other panel members said, we need a lot of defensive reinforcements. I personally think the slot is good, but Chalobah is being sold. Excel Disasi is not good enough. And here's again a criticism of Poch. Sorry for me being a very big critique of Poch. I personally think Poch makes some mistakes. I personally think Poch wants to play a style which is not predominantly possession control based, right? Poch plays some style which is more gegenpress, more pressing, more going forward, more camping the opposition half. What happens in that kind of style? All the centre backs we have are used to playing the original building from back, slow build up. Now, if Poch instructs these centre backs, and he has instructed these centre backs, mind you, on several occasions, to just pass the ball as soon as you get it, move it forward, move it up the line, move it in the forward lines in order to create those opportunities, in order to create those breaker line passes. These defenders are not used to doing that. These defenders are more contemporary, central defenders, no nonsense centre backs, who are good on the ball, who can do good passing, but not really the passing Poch wants. And that's why I really want to see how Wesley Fofana does under Poch, because he has that knack, right? So let's see what we sign. I don't think so. Defensive line is such a big problem. Why I say that? Because we have got players, but the manager wants something else. Then the player we have signed, unfortunately, is not really which suit the system. So Poch needs to be, clear in the instruction he gives to the defense line, and that's why I was emphasizing on the Silva thing that if you remove Thiago Silva from the defense line, no one is there to guide the defense line except of the manager, and that creates a lot of problem. But yeah, I hope so. We sign some defensive midfielder mates, so defensive center backs. Some experienced center backs like Jonathan Tah from Bayer Leverkusen. That's a very good shout. So that the defensive line can have some experience finally, and yeah, we can uh, do good because we need experience in the defense to succeed.
100%. I agree with some of the things, well, most of the things that you were saying, but I genuinely think, in my opinion, I genuinely think that our defense is also a problem. I think we have problems all throughout the pitch. It's not just the
Can
defense.
be the approach of the manager to how he arranges the defense is a bigger problem than the quality of players
Yeah,
we have in defense. That's what I
yeah,
would
for
say.
sure. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't really go and claim that we don't have good defensive players because we do. We know the kind of potential that they have. We've seen them play in other teams, as well as they possibly could, but perhaps it's the wrong profile of player for the manager that we have, the wrong profile of players for the coach that we have at the moment. Maybe that's the problem that we have. Perhaps it's the way that he lines them up. But I really would like a lot more from them. I I I
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of mistakes, especially schoolboy mistakes.
Yeah.
Just just holding the ball properly and keeping it and
And you
making
know
the
what?
right passes, and it's the smallest things that kind of
You know
grind
what?
me.
You know what, mate? You know what? Those schoolboy mistakes you're talking about, right, brother? Is the specific reason I don't like how Pochettino is coaching this whole setup. How can you and how can your defensive line make the same mistake game by game by game by game, and you are not seeing anything in training? You're not making them learn the art of set piece coaching. Why are you
But
not
but
hiring a set piece coach if there is no set piece coach? What are you doing in training? How we are
but I
conceding from set pieces? Yes, yes, brother. Yeah,
I agree with you. But at the same time, we are not sure whether Pochino is telling them what to do in the training. So overall, whether you rate Pochino or don't rate him, it's not an excuse for Beret Barishile, Disasi, and Thiago Silva making those mistakes each and every game. So overall, as individuals, they should do better. Without the coach
yeah,
doing that.
absolutely agree with you, brother. My only point was that you know if a player is making mistakes, right? Who is gonna take and tell them that you cannot do this at Chelsea Football Club as a defender of Chelsea Football Club? The manager, right? And if those mistakes are getting repeated, who is to be held accountable? Because we cannot say Axel Disasi and Badia Shile. We don't know them, right? We have the manager to blame. The manager gets all the onus of the wins when the players are doing good. The players are credited, yes. But we always say the manager has coached the players, trained the players so well that they're playing so well, that the system is so good, and we are scoring goals, we are defending well. So if manager is praised in a win, manager needs to be criticized when we are shaky defensively as well. And individual mistakes, I agree with you completely, mate. They can happen, and it's on players. But when individual mistakes happen again and again and again and again and again in the span of 16 to 17 matches, that's on the manager, unfortunately.
It's
Manager is not
unacceptable.
telling those. It's not acceptable, and then it's on the managers to say to the players that you're gonna be benched for a like of Helfi Gilchrist, who will come on the pitch and show what it is to play for Chelsea Football Club. If you do mistakes, I'll do that. If the manager is not doing that, then he needs to be called, and that's what my point is. Because Badia Shile is not a bad defender. We have a chance for Badiashile. How many defenders we Chelsea fan have created chance for? Tell me. Very few, right? So he's a top defender. Excel Disasi was slaying it in Monaco. So they're not bad players. I'm saying they are not being trained how they should be trained, and that's on Pochettino. We cannot do same mistakes again and again. Right? Go on,
So,
sir.
so, so overall, we can say Beron Barishile is a good defender. Now his two mistakes is on point. So are you telling me
Yeah,
that
he's a top
the
class
coach,
defender, world class
the
defender, in
coach
my personal opinion. Very calm on the ball.
but are you telling me the coach is telling these defenders to do those individual mistakes?
Not necessarily. What I'm saying is the coach is not saying anything, or maybe the coach is not handling the situation or handling those mistakes in the way they should be handled. Maybe he's too lenient on them, right? Maybe he's not strict with them. Maybe he's not telling them that you cannot do this and play for Chelsea Football Club. Because why will someone do the same mistakes again and again? How can individual mistakes happen again and again in this level? And there is a pattern to mistakes. We allow crosses, we concede goals. We allow crosses, we concede goals. We allow crosses, we concede goals. We allow crosses. How many times will it happen? Today also there were two chances. We allowed a cross and we almost conceded a goal. So there is a pattern, brother. And if there is a pattern, that's a that's the manager's accountability to resolve that pattern, that it should not happen the next game. Unfortunately, which is not happening, and that's why I call him out.
Yeah, let's give Theo some few minutes because he's about to leave. So he was going to give us
100%,
his
100%.
thing, and then after an hour we'll wrap up the stream. So Theo, what is your take on Tiger's opinion now with our defenders?
I can't blame everything on the coach. Unfortunately, we've done that quite a lot, and we actually went and got rid of the coaches because of that very same fact. The players have a responsibility as well. They also need to be held accountable for the way that they play. If we don't get to a point where we play as a team and we don't play and we play for each other, we're constantly going to have those type issues. The manager is just one man, and for sure he does have an entire team of coaches that do help him out with the day-to-day operations of the club, which is okay. But the players are also responsible for this. They are also responsible for how they play on the pitch, because there's only so much that a manager can do on the pitch. He's not on the pitch. He's not playing. The boys are. And if they're constantly making mistakes, then they have to ask themselves the questions as to why that is. Because we can't always blame the system. The kind of mistakes that are being made. I'll give you a simple example. The game against Crystal Palace, when Noni was fouled in the penalty area, Crystal Palace actually counter attacked, and it was 4 against 1. There were 4 against 1 person, which was Malo Gusto. And the way that Malo actually handled that situation, I don't think that many of the other defenders would have done the exact same thing, particularly our central defenders. I don't know. I don't have that much confidence and faith in them. Apologies. I'm not entirely sure if they would have the guile to do that. But Malo managed to. Malo managed to actually um, prevent the goal from being scored from that one situation. So I could say that the manager is to blame as well. I mean, he's not exempt of all this. This is his team. These are his players. It's always his tactics. It's basically his ideas. It's everything just him, right, and his team, and what they're trying to get out of these players. in as much as he's getting the best out of some players, he's not doing the same with all the players that he has in the same team. But I can commend him for having. Uh, I mean, he does have some consistent players that he has in his squad. He doesn't really change the entire 11 every single game, but he does make a lot of changes, and that's understandable because we have a lot of injuries, we have a lot of things going on, a lot of suspensions, a lot of um, disciplinary issues that we have with them. Even Posh himself is ill disciplined at times. I mean, he got a yellow card against was it Crystal Palace, if I'm not mistaken. He also got a yellow card in that game. A lot of things are not working so well, but it's not as bad as it used to be. I believe it really isn't as bad as it used to be. We're trying to find ourselves back together again. We're trying to find our feet. We're trying to find to create an identity that can stick. Now what we're looking for as fans is wins, 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 wins. And fair enough, because that's what we're used to. This club is not a club that we're used to staying in 10th after the 20th game of the season. We're 10th. And this is the second season running, basically, where we're in a really bad position. But we have been playing terribly, or we have been on a decline for quite some time. And we also have to be honest about that as well, especially amongst ourselves as fans, is that we also have to be honest about that, is that we haven't necessarily been the best Chelsea that we could possibly be. There's been a lot
True.
of issues that arose from the fact that we were getting sanctioned, and and we changed ownership. But that's not the only thing that's been going. We've been on a decline even prior to that, and now everything is catching up with us. It's a miracle that we're not even in 15th, 16th, 17th place because of the things that are going on in that club. The recruitment hasn't all been that great, to be fair. But the players that we are absolutely certain that we have really talented players. We have players with huge potential, but we should also know that that potential will not, you know, be fruitful in the first season or the second season. It's gonna take time. These are young boys, but we also can't stay. We also can't be, content with how we're playing. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't like seeing my team lose. Really, I don't like to see my team lose, and we lose quite a lot. So I mean, at some point we had actually lost more games than we've won. I think it's only now that we've caught up with that ratio, is that we have the same number of wins as well as the same number of losses. That's not the way to win. That's not the way to be competitive, especially at the top of our game. We can't do that. However, it's a work in progress. I for one admit that it is something like that. It's a work in progress. We can't necessarily expect things to work as well as they used to be, especially after the major overhaul that has happened in the club overall.
It's not the
And
same Chelsea, yeah.
it's not the same team at all.
Yeah.
I
It's
can
a
barely
different project,
recognize.
right? So, yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
completely different project, and I understand that we used to. It's in our DNA to win. Yeah, we're used to winning. That's basically all there is about us. If you don't win, we sack you. It's as simple as that. But things have changed so drastically that we also have to recognize that it's not the same club at all, and it will take some time before we get back to having that winning mentality, that identity that we see ourselves as, to say that if we play in a certain way, then we are guaranteed to win, because that's precisely what we've gone and done forever. But things have changed now. If we still had Roman, perhaps we could have different opinions about how we play if the
You know
results would
what,
have been the same.
brother? If we would have Roman, right, this
Yeah,
manager would have been sacked by now.
yeah, probably on the 15th game, he'd have left.
Yeah.
On game
So
number 15, he would have
that was a
left.
different
Or
Chelsea.
December.
And and moreover, you know what you were saying, and I remember it seems funny to people when I say it, but I really want to, somehow either to finish in the eighth spot or within the seventh, eighth spot. If hopefully we can at least finish in the top eight or win the Carabao Cup. against Liverpool. That would be a statement, right? And
It'll
go
be a
in the
great.
Conference League and win the Conference League. That's the only trophy remaining in the cabinet now.
Yeah, basically, it's all that we
And,
have in one.
and, and when I say that, people laugh. But you know what? A Conference League would be the most apt league for these squad of youngsters to gel around, to build something, and to win something. And imagine we sign Victor Osimhen, breaking that release course. Victor Osimhen in a Conference League, 70 goals, 60 goals, easy. That guy would kill. That guy would kill Club Brugge. That guy will clip Dinamo Zagreb's defenses like butter. My, I'm not lying.
I have
My
to
man
agree with
is
you.
a killer in front of
I
goal.
have to agree with you. But in as much as
And I want to see that. We'll
in
see
as
so
much as
many
we would
goals that
like,
we can survive 3 seasons of 0 goals if
mm,
Victor Osimhen goes to the Conference League. I'm delighted to see that. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens.
So before we wrap it up, I think coach mentioned a good question. He said, which areas are most importantly to strengthen in January in order to have
You
it?
don't want my answer to that, mate. You don't want that my answer to that. I will say all areas, and then you'll be laughing. See, you're laughing, right? But it's true. It's true. We need a defender, an experienced defender. Okay, let's be serious. We need an experienced defender. Okay, let's say Jonathan Tah is my shout. We need an experienced central midfielder because we only have Enzo because Ugochukwu is a defensive midfielder. Caicedo is. I don't really know what is Caicedo is a central or a defensive because he has not shown any of that for 115 million. So it's all right. He'll develop. He's a lot of potential. And then Romeo Lavia is a pure defensive sitter. So we need a central midfielder because we are thin in central midfielding. So we need a central midfielder who I don't know. Maybe Bastoni. We are scouting Bastoni from Inter. Um, has anyone sent any names? Okay, yeah, okay. And we need a striker, and we need Victor Osimhen. Nothing else. So yeah, these three names, and maybe a left back and a right back. So yeah, all positions. Yeah,
Yeah, Tiro, before
obviously
you
these
go,
three positions: a defender, a midfielder, and a striker. Yeah.
oh, sorry about that, Tiger. Tiro, before you go, just let us know what do you need.
I agree with Tiger on this one. I've been saying all along, we don't have a striker problem, we have a team problem. We need experience everywhere on the pitch. It's not just in the front, it's not just in the back, it's everywhere. We need experience, including our management team. We need experience. We need a lot.
Sack
We
those medical people. Sack those medical people right now.
and the medical people. Bro, come on, man. I mean, how many injuries can we take? On average, how many injuries have we had this season per game? Probably two or three on average. It's absolutely insane. But there's a lot
Those
that's going
medical
on in our
people
team.
there. I sometimes think, brothers, those medical people there are scrolling through OnlyFans, doing nothing, doing nothing. I mean, how can, how can you, how can you? I mean, I think Jackson goes to the medical room and then watches OnlyFans with the medical room and says, "Wow, you know what? This is fun. Who wants to score goals? Leave it." So I don't know what they are doing in the medical room because Nkunku takes like ages to complete his rehabilitation. God knows what rehabilitation he was doing. So well, I mean, I don't know. And you never know. And you never know. Today, yeah, blue board analysis, Astrid, right? That girl, oh my god. I mean, in my honest opinion, Astrid's season pass should be cancelled. She's not giving motivation. She's giving demotivation to a place.
Yeah, but then
She's
again,
she's
she's
reverse
also a
jinxing
fan.
it.
Eh? I mean, when
Yeah,
you
I
really
mean,
think about it, she's also a fan, irrespective of what she does. At the end of the day,
hundred
she's a fan
percent,
like
hundred
us.
percent, 100%, 100%.
So we will
Yeah,
accept her as she is, but
hundred
you're very
percent,
right.
100%.
Our medical
But
staff
you know
is
what? But you know what? Here's a point. Here's a point. I really don't go in personal lives and what people do personally. But okay, let's leave it. I don't want to create controversies on the Coolest Chills podcast. Let it be. Let it be normal. Let it be cool. Let it be.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's a pleasure to have you guys, and then
It's a pleasure. It's
hopefully
a pleasure. It's an honor.
with longer streams from January
100%.
because me and Cyril will be both on leave, so that means we can do 2 hour, 3 hour streams, talk about
100%.
Chelsea madness and everything. So overall,
for sure.
guys, we really do need experienced players
100%.
around the team in order for us to do better. That's my opinion. And then, yes, we love the structure of football, but now we're struggling. Just change it slightly and some experienced players. Until Chelsea Football Club is where should it be, challenging for the league, for the top four, for titles, then you can start again buying those kits. We don't mind buying those kits, right? But at the same time, we need to help our first team. We are starving. We are struggling. So, Todd if you're listening to me, please make the right thing. So, overall, guys, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel,
And then
and see
by
you
youngsters. Up the Chelsea boys. Take care.
after Charles.
Of the Chelsea, y'all.